I just leave. I go home. I go home to my life, and I take care of my cat and do all the stuff I'm supposed to do.
She's gone. No warning, no Instagram statement, no dramatic farewell at the View's roundtable. Whoopi Goldberg has fled the country. Fled just as Carrie Underwood's $800 million defamation lawsuit against The View enters full-throttle legal overdrive. And let's be real, this isn't just a scandal. This is a daytime television earthquake. ABC executives in meltdown mode, legal teams on high alert, viewers glued to every headline. But Whoopi, she vanished right as the court granted Carrie's team an emergency motion to fast-track depositions, flight records, insider whispers, jet to Italy. What is she running from? Let's break down the media panic, courtroom drama, and the Southern powerhouse who just turned Hollywood on its head. But before we dive in, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more savage media takedowns and celebrity courtroom chaos. Did you just subscribe? Perfect. Because this story, oh honey, it's wild. It didn't begin with drama. It didn't start with some viral beef or a tabloid cover. No, the moment that would ultimately send Whoopi Goldberg fleeing the country began not with fury, but with a flag, a microphone, a stage, a nation watching. Carrie Underwood stepped into the spotlight, wearing a simple, elegant navy gown. Her hair swept back, no backup dancers, no elaborate choreography, just her voice, her message, the occasion. A performance at the second inauguration celebration of Donald J. Trump.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
The crowd was massive. Fireworks lit the sky. Carrie belted out a patriotic anthem so powerful it moved veterans to tears. For millions of Americans, it was a moment of unity, of pride, of healing through music. It was Carrie doing what she's always done, best singing from the heart, unapologetically. She didn't walk on that stage with a political agenda. She didn't wave a red hat. She didn't utter a single political slogan. It was about country, about faith, about the power of music to bring people together. That's what Carrie believed. That's what she stood for. But across the country, the stage was being set for something far uglier. The next morning, The View, ABC's infamous talk show panel, known more for hot takes than journalistic nuance, went live. The mugs were full, the mics were hot, the audience was prepped, and from the moment the intro music faded, the tone was clear. They were out for blood.
She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country?
Joy Behar, ever the instigator, opened the segment with a grin that could cut glass. She didn't even let the clip of Carrie's performance finish rolling before launching into the first jab. She's a MAGA mascot in rhinestones. Gasps, laughter, applause. The audience ate it up. Then Sunny Hostin, with her prosecutorial presence, leaned in as if she were cross-examining Carrie herself. With a sharp inhale and narrowed eyes, she added, "Singing for Trump and tweeting about Jesus. Pick a lane, sweetheart." It wasn't just commentary. It was a takedown prepped, planned, and laced with venom. And then came Whoopi. Oh, Whoopi. She leaned back in her chair, tilted her head, adjusted her glasses with theatrical flair, and delivered the line that would echo across social media, newsrooms, and eventually, a courtroom. She's not America's sweetheart anymore. She's just a blonde distraction. The audience howled. The co-hosts grinned. The producers cut to commercial with glee. It was the kind of moment that usually trends, that gets clipped, shared, memed. But backstage, in a quiet room, Carrie Underwood sat with her phone in hand. No response tweet. No fiery Instagram live. No cryptic quote story. Just silence. She didn't feel attacked as a celebrity. She felt betrayed as a woman of faith, as a patriot, as someone who dared to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could use her voice to unite. And that's when she made the call. Not to a PR team, not to a gossip blog. She called her lawyers. Because this wasn't just rude, it wasn't even just slander. This was reputational warfare dressed up as entertainment. And Carrie. She was done playing nice. The View had drawn first blood. But Carrie Underwood. She was about to drop a bomb. 2 weeks after Carrie Underwood walked off that inauguration stage and back into her quiet life, the headlines ignited like wildfire. Carrie Underwood sues The View for $800 million in explosive defamation lawsuit. And just like that, the story exploded. This wasn't a PR stunt. This wasn't a warning shot. This was a full-blown legal assault, carried out with surgical precision. Carrie wasn't tweeting vague lyrics or posting cryptic Instagram stories. She was sending court-certified paperwork straight to the front doors of Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin and their boss, ABC. Her legal team didn't show up empty-handed. Oh no, they came loaded. The lawsuit included time-stamped transcripts from the episode in question, highlighting every jab, every laugh, every slur coated in sarcasm. Behind-the-scenes production memos, with chilling phrases like "frame her faith" and "mock the Trump link early." Emails from segment producers, one of which read, "Carrie equals clickbait. Use Joy to open soft, then escalate. Whoopi will land the closer." Private Slack messages where producers joked about how Carrie backlash means instant engagement. Audio clips, off-air, catching Joy mocking Carrie's fans as Bible-thumping algorithms, and the cherry on top. One damning email sent just hours before the episode aired. Trigger Carrie equals TikTok gold. That right there was the digital equivalent of lighting a match inside a BC's legal office. Carrie's legal team released a statement that shook every newsroom from New York to LA. This lawsuit is not about politics or opinion. This is about systemic character assassination, strategically orchestrated by a platform with enormous influence. Ms. Underwood was ambushed for clout, and now there are consequences.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she said in the statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
Journalists scrambled to cover it. Media watchdogs went live with emergency panels. Talk radio shows opened phone lines to furious fans. And The View. They froze. Producers ghosted reporters. Rehearsals got quiet. The typical laughter behind the scenes. Gone. Even rival networks smelled blood. One MSNBC anchor said live on air, "You don't walk into a lawsuit like this unless you know you've already won." And Whoopi, the woman who mocked Carrie's patriotism and faith in front of millions. She didn't say a word. No rebuttal, no witty remark, no social media jab, just silence. Because deep down, she knew this wasn't a media fire she could joke her way out of. This was war. And Carrie Underwood. She just launched the first missile. This is the part where things start to fall apart and fast. The minute Carrie's legal team filed that $800 million bombshell, something shifted inside the walls of ABC. But even more jarring, the shift inside Whoopi Goldberg. At first, she put on the act. You know the one, the unbothered queen with the raised eyebrow, leaning back in her chair like everything was just another hot topic. She cracked a few half-hearted jokes on air, laughed at her own punchlines a little too loudly, threw in a few, "Oh please, she get over it," lines with that usual air of superiority. But insiders say, it was all for show. Behind the scenes, a completely different story was unfolding. It began with her showing up late to rehearsals. At first, 5 minutes, then 10, then skipping them altogether. Staffers started whispering. Segment producers were scrambling to reassign parts of the show, because Whoopi was either in a mood or simply not showing up at all. One stagehand revealed anonymously. She'd come in, sit down, and just stare. No notes, no jokes, no energy. It was like she was bracing for a storm only she could see, and the storm. It was brewing faster than anyone imagined. Then came the cancelled media appearances. Suddenly, Whoopi was unavailable for interviews. ABC halted her press tour for an upcoming film. Her publicist started deflecting emails, and The View. It felt hollow. Her segments got shorter, her commentary strangely generic. Gone was the snarky firebrand. In her place, a woman unraveling under pressure. And then it happened. The official court summons landed on her desk, hand-delivered to ABC Studios, addressed to Whoopi Goldberg. It wasn't an invite, it was a demand. Appear for deposition under oath. Timeline. Immediate. That's when the spiral became impossible to hide. Sources say she locked herself in her dressing room for hours. Cancelled tapings, refused to speak to producers. Security even had to be called once because she refused to exit her trailer until all press had cleared the parking lot. One assistant overheard her mutter. They weren't supposed to take it this far. But Carrie did, and the court took it even further. Just 48 hours after Whoopi received her summons, the judge approved an emergency motion from Carrie's team to expedite discovery, meaning Whoopi would be required to submit all emails, texts, notes, and behind-the-scenes footage related to the segment. And that included raw rehearsal recordings, hot mic audio, meeting notes from executive producers, and yes, even candid remarks made off camera before the taping. Insiders say she freaked. Like full-on meltdown, one producer recalled. She slammed her iPad onto the desk, said something about getting thrown to the wolves. The tension, palpable. At this point, Whoopi wasn't just spiraling, she was plummeting. The once impenetrable matriarch of The View had been cracked wide open by a country singer in cowboy boots, armed with a legal dream team and a binder full of receipts. And Whoopi knew it. This wasn't just a scandal, this was personal, and she was running out of moves and time. And then, just like that, she was gone. No announcement, no camera fade, no farewell episode. Whoopi Goldberg disappeared from The View like a magician vanishing mid-act. One morning she was seated at the table, eye-rolling through another heated debate. The next, her chair was empty, cold, untouched. A ghost of controversy passed.
And so now, interestingly, there's a new show for The View coming out on weekends, Whoopi, because you just can't get enough of it. But one Whoopi is not even in it. Not in it at all.
Get this, people. Now we're streaming every weekend.
This is the new commercial.
With an all-new show, an all-new View, special for the weekends.
Now you can catch The View 7 days a week.
I wonder if you can handle it.
It's the Weekend View.
The Weekend View.
It's the Weekend View. Streaming on ABC News Live.
The Weekend View with everyone except for Whoopi Goldberg. So what's that about? Could it be that they felt she was just too much? I mean, they were going to be streaming and they need to take this product forward. And by the way, their streaming numbers are lousy. So they're thinking, okay, like let's move away from linear television and let's put The View on the weekend and let's do entertainment instead of politics. By the way, listen, like over here on streaming, like in this land, it's all about authenticity. You can talk about politics. You can talk about a lot of stuff. In fact, your crazy Whoopi, she might actually have a better following online than she does in the sort of traditional, shall we say, network environment. But they can't figure that out, I guess, either that or she's holding out for more money. I kind of wonder if she's in the middle of contract negotiations. And that's in part why she stops spitting when she says the president's name. After all, he won.
ABC called it a wellness retreat, but nobody bought that. Because insiders were already whispering. A source close to production spilled the real tea. She was supposed to film Tuesday's episode. We had scripts. She had notes. Then, poof, not even a text. Behind the scenes, absolute chaos. Producers were scrambling. Scripts were shredded. Joy Behar reportedly slammed her mug down so hard it cracked. Sunny Hostian staring into space like she just saw a ghost. Meanwhile, a private jet manifest leaked to the press one that departed JFK in the dead of night. Destination, Florence, Italy. The name, redacted, but the shell corporation that booked it. Tied to a high-powered celebrity crisis management firm. Coincidence? Not likely. Because this wasn't just about skipping an episode. This was about the court's latest move. The discovery process had just been accelerated. That means every email becomes evidence. Every recorded segment is now under scrutiny. Every off-air joke, every backstage whisper, every pre-show production plan, all of it, up for legal grabs. And Whoopi, she was next in line. Her deposition was imminent. Carrie Underwood's legal team had already served the paperwork, and according to their statement, failure to appear will result in immediate consequences. But Whoopi didn't appear. She boarded a jet and vanished. One ABC staffer described the aftermath as nuclear. It was like someone pulled the fire alarm and then locked the doors. No one knew what to say. No one wanted to be next. Executives held emergency meetings. The legal department was in a tailspin, and PR, their only strategy at that point. Say as little as possible. Even ABC's statement was eerily vague. Whoopi Goldberg is currently taking time to focus on her health and personal well-being. Translation. She ran, and social media knew it. Within hours, #WhereIsWhoopi was trending worldwide. TikTokers stitched clips of Whoopi's past rants, with footage of planes taking off. YouTubers created full timelines, tracking every rumor, every leak, every possible hideout from Italy to the Maldives. Meanwhile, Carrie, silent as ever. No tweets, no press conference, no victory lap. Just a quiet power move, letting Whoopi's absence become the loudest admission of guilt. Because when the truth comes knocking, and the receipts start stacking, even the loudest voice in daytime TV knows. Sometimes, the only way out is out of the country. The internet didn't just respond, it detonated. Within minutes of reports surfacing that Whoopi Goldberg had fled the country amid the escalating legal firestorm, social media platforms lit up like a Christmas tree in Times Square. TikTok went into overdrive. Twitter raw, should we say X now? Yeah, X practically melted. Reddit exploded with threads faster than mods could tag them. Hashtags started stacking up by the second. #Whoopi fled. #Carrie claps back. #justice for Carrie. #justice for Carrie. #run, Whoopi run. One viral TikTok titled Flight Risk, Whoopi Goldberg edition, hit 12.3 million views in less than 6 hours. It showed a split screen on one side, courtroom sketches of Carrie calmly reviewing legal documents. On the other, stock footage of a private jet taking off with Mission Impossible theme music blaring. The caption, she said she wanted air. Italy's got plenty. Another post with nearly 1 million likes had Carrie holding a Bible and a legal binder while Whoopi hid behind a stack of unpaid lawyer invoices. Someone added the text. One prays, one pays. And then came the memes, oh boy, the memes. There was the one where Whoopi's face was photoshopped onto a suitcase with the caption, checked out. Another had Carrie walking into court with the phrase, when your vocals slay, and subpoena. Even late-night TV hosts got in on it. Jimmy Fallon joked. Whoopi fled the country faster than an intern who realized they emailed the wrong file to the judge. Stephen Colbert quipped. Usually, it's the View that's throwing shade. This time, it's just throwing luggage into the trunk. YouTubers went nuts. Livestream panels, breakdown videos, reaction compilations. One popular creator titled their upload, Carrie Underwood, just made Whoopi ghost the entire country. Complete with timestamps of every key courtroom moment, jet tracking maps, and old clips of Whoopi saying she never runs from a fight. Comment sections across platforms were flooded with takes, hot and cold. Conservatives called it a win for values. Liberals called it reckless PR. But even neutral voices said the optics weren't great. Still silent. No press conference, no smug retweet, no influencer collab. Just calm, just focus, just power. And that silence. Oh, it was deafening. Because in the age of clapbacks and cancel culture, the loudest flex is not needing to say a word. Carrie walked into court with a binder, not a rant. No glam squad, no entourage. Just cold, hard evidence. Analysts were stunned. It's surgical, precise, devastating. And The View, cracking. Joy, threatened to quit. Sunny lawyering up. Producers deleting Slack messages. Carrie just turned a talk show into a courtroom documentary. Ad deals pulled. Ratings tanking. An ABC memo leaked. Prepare for possible show suspension. Producers scouting replacements. And Whoopi, not a voicemail. Not a return flight. ABC's legacy is burning. And Carrie. She lit the match with facts. Alright folks, now it's your turn. Did Whoopi really flee to dodge the $800 million truth? Is The View collapsing from the inside out? And did Carrie Underwood just become the face of media accountability? Let us know in the comments. Smash subscribe for every twist in this courtroom thriller.